Right, thank you. That's a very good introduction, Denise, so thank you. We've got a slideshow coming up, and Joan's got a Survey Monkey, which people may have seen at Jumbo Tennis.
Yeah, this is
So,
mascot for this work.
and to work out our status, we need information, so we have to do things like run a survey now of members, and this is what this presentation is about. Of course I'll be with you, it's okay. No, but as Denise pointed out, this is a first for any Rotary organisation or similar organisation that we know of about working out our carbon status. So we have to establish that, and we are aiming to go for our carbon status certification on 1 July 2019, so there's a bit of pressure to get some information in about the club and what we are. So next slide please. And okay. Just go page down. There we go. Okay, righto. And so on to the next slide again. And really, yeah, could we come one slide ahead, please? Slide 3. Yep. We have no idea what the Rotary Club of Wellington's carbon footprint is. We have just no knowledge at all. We've talked whether it's going to be kilograms or tonnes or hundreds of tonnes. We have no idea. So this is why we're doing the survey. So next click, please. So in the Sergeant session, we're going to introduce a form to fill in. It looks complicated, but there's not much you have to fill in for you as a person, but there's so many combinations to account for. And so we're really interested in surveying how your mode of travel only to the meeting, to lunch meetings here. What's your mode of travel when you go to Rotary Club of Wellington committee meetings and you go to Rotary Club of Wellington events like billiards or President's Dinner. So they're all catered for on that form. Next slide, please. So the Jumbo Tennis, we did a survey there, and if you look right at the bottom, we had an 84% response of those who attended to work out something about their carbon footprint. So just looking at the percentage down there, we had about 146 respondents. 8% of those walked, 11% went by bus, 2% trained and walked, or trained and bussed. So it gets very complicated when you try to do these things. All sorts of things come out about the combinations that people use. 23% carpooled, and if you look further down, shared a taxi, 24%. So nearly half are shared transport coming there, and 32% drove. A third of the people drove to the meeting. So that's a bit of an insight. Now we know the size of engines of cars and all sorts of things that people drove in, and our certifiers are helping us with that. They've got some huge spreadsheets and things which convert that into carbon dioxide and the distances travelled. So that's where this is going to take us. So next slide, please. So we have this simple form to fill in which looks complicated from a distance. So if you go to the next click. It should just click on. Can you click on one more?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Okay. Sorry, Patrick isn't here.
Okay.
Okay. So what it does is that you, this will be hard to see, but it clicks up on the corner just to show you what we'd like to fill in.
So you've got forms on your table, so just grab them and have a look. That might be the best way to go now, and just to keep the Sergeant Sessions time. And we're looking at the top left corner. In the top left corner, the first thing, the most important thing is to put your name on the form. Whatever you do, put your name on it. And those who fill those forms in today and leave them with Rebecca on the way out, that's great. If not, you're going to get an email requesting you to fill in a form with it attached. So the top left corner over here is, we're just going to ask you, down here, mode of travel, did you walk to the meeting or come on an e-scooter? Just put an X in there if you did that. And that's just the Monday's lunch meeting. Sorry, the next slide, that blows it all up.
Yeah, what we're after is just the usual way you come here. not, so if you came a different way than the way you normally come today, that's not what we're after. We're after the usual way. So if you usually walk, put that in. If you usually come by car, put that in, please. And
That's it. Next one. Next one. Oh, good. Here we are. So here we are up here. So this is just in the Monday lunch here, and there's 42 of them during the year. So we take all that sort of stuff into account in working out this footprint. So just put an X so we know if you walk to here, that's fine, because that's got a no carbon footprint. If you came by train, what a rough approximate distance, and then if you've got a bus, you can put that in too. And then coming down here, there'll be carpooling and such. And over here is at your monthly meetings, and right out to the right here is the events you go to. So just, if you walk, just put an X. If you drove, you put the kilometres in that you went. And could we have the next slide, please?
Rob, can I just stop?
Yep.
If you don't know, if you're coming by train or by bus and you don't know how many kilometres that is, just put where you came from, Kilburnie or Lower Hutt or wherever.
That means I get Joan to Google it and work it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
With jumbo tennis, I think I spent about 4 hours Googling distances from people because I put the start point and, to the event.
Yeah.
But amazing with technology what you can do to it. But you'll probably have a fair idea of the approximate case. Okay, you've got the next slide.
Yeah, and if you're coming by car, to work out the carbon footprint, we need to know the litrage of your car. So is it less than 2 litres or is it 2 to 4 or whatever? So if you can put, you'll see there's a little gap there with the car, and then it says is it petrol or diesel. If you could put the litrage in there, that would be great.
So in here you put the distance you travelled in your car if you drove to the lunch meeting. And down here, this guy came in a 2.2 hybrid diesel car, 2.2 litre. And if you taxied, you could put the kilometres in there, or you shared a taxi, you put it in there. And so what we found on testing this sort of thing, some people have 2 cars, so they drive their big car to some meetings and they might drive their smaller car. So the litrage for your firm may be, if you're driving your smaller car to an event, it might be a different litrage. So all these things seem to matter to the certifiers. So we're associating the distance and the size of the engine. And we've also got an electric battery-only car down there. It's quite easy to fill in because there's not much that will apply to any individual, but it's quite complicated trying to suck in all this information. And the certifiers seem to love the detail, working with them. And that fits into their modelling. All right, look.
How are we going to find people? So if this was as clear as...
Oh, you're finding people. Okay.
Yeah, if it was as clear as...
Is Russ Ballard here? Helen Algar? Yeah. We'll find both of you for filling in the form before we presented and started it. So, apart from that...
Can I reverse the one? You haven't got the most important committee in the club on it.
Which one's that?
Committee facility.
The what?
Oh, did we miss one? Oh, okay, put it down the bottom. No. They're youth, they're under 21 or whatever.
No, okay, no, good point. But I thought we had worked very hard to capture every committee off the
If there's
website.
anything else, let us know. So, if this is as clear as mud, put some money in the bowl and come and talk to us later.
So,
If it's super clear, also put something in the bowl, please.
yep. And the completion date is 18th of April. If you haven't filled in a form and left it, we're going to send you an email because we're very keen to get as many people captured in this as we can. Easiest is to complete it on the table today and leave it with Rebecca. And we thank you for your input to this. Thank you.